First of all, we have to understand that there are two kinds of faith. The first faith is called blind faith, where there is no reasoning, there is no logic, simply accept whatever is told. That kind of blind faith is called superstition. In the philosophy, in the branch of philosophy, in Vedic philosophy, such blind faith is never encouraged. In fact, the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, you take all the scriptures, they consist of, they encourage questioning. They encourage questioning and understanding the truth, understanding reality, understanding facts on the basis of logic and reasoning. Now, what happens is, even science has to use faith. Science is not free from faith. We may say science is fully objective, but no. Without faith, even science cannot survive. For example, when we go to the college and we study so many things in science, Rutherford's experiment, Rutherford sent a ray of an electron, and he had two plates, a cathode and an anode, and then the ray started bending. From that, he discovered that the electron has got a charge. How many of us have seen this Rutherford doing his experiment? Have you seen? None of us have seen. Then how do we accept that it is fact? What is the objectivity there? It's faith. We are reading in the book and we are believing that what the book is telling is truth. How do you know in the first place that somebody called Rutherford existed? I will claim there was nobody called Rutherford. It is all some story somebody has created. Can you prove? Can you disprove me? You cannot disprove me. The only thing you can say, no, my textbook said Rutherford existed. In Wikipedia, it says Rutherford existed. Wikipedia is telling all this is a built-up story I will tell. Will you be able to refute me? You cannot refute me. That means you have to have faith in the textbooks. You have to have faith in what Wikipedia is saying. Therefore, we accept that Rutherford, yes, somebody called Rutherford was there. Somebody called Newton was there. Somebody called all these scientists that are there. Niels Bohr was there. Somebody called Albert Einstein was there. I'll tell nobody called Albert Einstein ever existed. Can you disprove me? No, you'll show some photograph. That any photograph I can show and tell anybody that I also will show. See, this is Krishna. Why don't you accept? If you show me one photograph and tell this is Albert Einstein, I have to believe. If I show you a photograph and tell you this is Krishna, you won't believe. What is this? Why should I believe you, but you will not believe me? So even science requires the application of faith. But that faith is not blind faith. Prabhupada gives the example, just like when we go and put a letter into a post box. The moment we put the letter into the post box, we have the faith that yes, now it will reach its destination. And is that blind faith? Is it superstition? Oh, what is the superstition you are having? You put that letter into the red box, it will go and reach its place. What is this? Somebody can say, no, bhaiya, it is an authorized box. It is authorized by the postal department. It is authorized by the government. Therefore, when I put the letter into that, my faith is based on the knowledge that this is authorized. And therefore, that faith is not, it is not blind faith. Just like today, suppose you are going to catch a flight from Chennai to Delhi, let us say. Hope there is no COVID in Delhi. So if you are able to book the ticket, then what will you do? You will go to some website. So many websites are there. Make My Trip, Ease My Trip, or Yatra, or something. You will go. You will book your ticket. You will pay the money, and then you will get one printout. Nowadays, even printout is not needed. On your mobile, you will be able to download one ticket. Moment you see the ticket, this date is okay. Okay, this is all seat, everything is fine. So I am confident now that I will reach Delhi on so and so date. What is the basis of my this confidence? Just one piece of some picture on my mobile that is giving me confidence. Now suppose I go to it has happened with me also one time. I booked the ticket, went to the airport, sat in the aircraft, and after sitting, one man walks up and tells me, this is my seat. What are you doing on my seat? I was like, what? Your seat? This is my seat. I'm showing my ticket. He's showing his ticket. Both of them are having the same seat. Some mistake has happened. Then both of us, we called the air hostess. She came. Then she looked at it. Then she took that man and she said, I'll give an alternate seat, and took him. What is the confidence? What is the faith we are having? That when I have this something downloaded on my mobile or a printout, one piece of paper, what is that printout? It's just a piece of paper. But I'm having so much faith on that piece of paper that this will take me to Delhi. So if I have so much faith on that piece of paper, I can go to some sabji wala who is selling some jackfruit, and I can tell him, pay him some money and tell him, you give me one paper so that I can go to Delhi. He will happily take 10,000 rupees from me and give one piece of paper, a ticket to Delhi, please go, he will give. Next day, he will vanish from there. So that if I have faith like that on some jackfruit seller, that he's giving me a ticket to Delhi, what will you call? That is called blind faith. But when I have faith, when I am booking for a Make My Trip or some site like that, that faith, nobody will say it is superstition. Why? Because that website is authorized. Whenever we go and sell, whenever we go and buy some flight ticket from some website, first thing what we do, we see whether this website is authorized to sell flight tickets or not. Only if it is authorized, we have faith. Yes, now it is authorized. I've seen the authorizations. Now I have faith that this will, when I pay to this, I'll be able to go reach to my destination. This kind of faith is called faith based on knowledge. Now, when we speak of God, when we speak of Krishna, our faith is not blind faith. Our faith is based on scriptural knowledge. Our faith is based on realized personalities. Acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Shankaracharya, Srila Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, such acharyas, such realized personalities are telling Krishna is the Supreme Lord and He is the Supreme Absolute Truth. He is God, He exists. Bhagavad Gita, the scriptures, they are saying Krishna is the Supreme Lord, the Lord exists. And you can analyze by various logic and various arguments, you can put forth all kinds of questioning and try to understand the existence of the Supreme Lord. All your questions will be answered. Only after you are convinced you accept that the Supreme Lord exists. This kind of faith based on authorized personalities. How do we know that Prabhupada, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, these are authorized personalities? Because just like when you go to college, when you study Rutherford's experiment, or you study about the charge of an electron, or you study about the gravity, the value of g, the acceleration due to gravity being 9.81 meters per second square. How do we have so much faith in all those values? Because we are going and learning this in a college from a teacher who has in turn learned from another teacher. And that teacher has learned from another teacher, authorized by an authorized teacher, authorized by the government. Then we have confidence. We don't go and learn science. We don't go and learn medical science or physics or mathematics from any guy in the street. Suppose some guy, Thela wala is going, he is pushing his sabji lelo is going. And then you go and approach him and you ask him, can you teach me physics? Will you go and ask? He is not authorized. Why will you ask him? You will go to a college which has been recognized by the government, and the professor, you will see what are the qualifications of the professor. Professor will say, I have done my PhD from so-and-so college. Then you will check that college. Oh, this college is also a reputed college. I have learned PhD and I did my thesis under so-and-so professor. Who is that professor? Oh, he has learned in some other college under some other professor. Like this, we know that this person is authorized. In a similar way, when we look at the spiritual knowledge also, Prabhupada has been authorized by his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in turn has been authorized by his spiritual master, Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj in turn has been authorized by his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Like this, you can go on tracing who is his spiritual master, who is his spiritual master, who is his spiritual master. Ultimately, you will go and end up in Krishna. Srila Prabhupada is the 32nd in that line of chain of disciplic succession, Guru, Shishya, Parampara. By this, we understand that we have faith in what Prabhupada is saying because he is coming in an authorized Guru, Shishya, Parampara. We don't go and hear about who is God, whether we don't try to understand the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam from anybody in the street. Anybody stands up and says, I'll teach Bhagavad Gita, we should not go and learn. We have to first ask, who are you, sir? Where did you learn Bhagavad Gita from? Who is your teacher? He will say, so and so is my teacher. Who is his teacher? Like that, you keep tracing until it goes back to Krishna himself. Because Krishna is the person who has given Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, any person who claims to be teaching Bhagavad Gita, he should have an unbroken chain of Guru Shishya Parampara, which goes all the way back to Krishna. Then we can accept that what he is teaching is true. Otherwise, we cannot accept. Therefore, understanding spiritual knowledge, understanding about God also, is based on faith, based on knowledge, not blind faith, not superstitious faith. It is based on knowledge, it is based on logic, it is based on reasoning, it is based on understanding from authorized, realized personalities, authorized teachers. Just like the same process of receiving knowledge of the science is the process of receiving knowledge, spiritual knowledge also. There is no difference between the two. In science also, you conduct experiments and you validate what you have learned in the science books. And similarly, whatever we learn in the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we apply that in our life, and then we see the transformations in our heart as it is described in the Shastras. Then we can corroborate, yes, what I learned in the Shastras, now it is happening in my life when I started following this. Therefore, it gives us confidence that yes, what we have learned is true. There is theory and there is practice in science as well as in spiritual knowledge. Therefore, Prabhupada referred to Bhagavad Gita and to Vedic knowledge as Vedic science, theistic science, the science of God. That is how Prabhupada described it. And this is the reality. So, it is not that knowledge about God, knowledge about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita is based on blind faith. It is based on faith, based on knowledge, which is the basis of even scientific knowledge, accepting scientific knowledge. Otherwise, you can go on questioning, you will never be able to learn even the first law in science. Even that you will not be able to learn if you go on questioning like this. You have to, certain things you have to accept with faith, based on authorization. Similarly, even knowledge about God also, Krishna also, we have to accept based on authorization.